And 3, 2, 1.
Buenos noches, amigos, and welcome to episode 47 of Not Another Sox podcast. I am Jack Webster here with Matt Galvale and Matt LeBeau, as always. Fellas, when is Truck Day this year?
Dude, that is the question that everybody wants answered, man. Truck Day is a day that everyone looks forward to. It's the first date circled on the calendar. You know, once the off season hits, everybody wants to know when that's going to happen. When are we going to get the stop at McCoy Stadium? For the photo ops and everything like that. But we're still waiting word on that. It's got to be getting close though.
Yeah, you could feel the sexual tension in the air for Truck Day. It's close, and all the perverts are starting to make their plans. They're finding out, what stops they're going to make. They're going to follow the truck, and it's just a sick demographic of people.
Right.
But if you celebrate it, that's fine. But you're sick. You are sick. But I mean, we're also a little bit sick. Not that sick, but yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up. They haven't announced it, and I think that might be because of us.
Yeah,
I think it might be. It's very possible.
Well, I'm just literally more shocked that the Red Sox aren't trying to sell tickets to Truck Day like they did in 2020. When they actually charged people admission to watch them load up a truck.
That is insane.
They also had a masturbation add-on, which was another $100 which you're disabled right there. So that way, you weren't breaking any laws because they allowed sold a ticket for it.
Would you like
back?
You get to sniff the baseballs for an extra $40 while climaxing.
This is like the new autoerotic asphyxiation, where it's this is how people are starting to die from this type of shit.
Another one gone because of Truck Day.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
we got to get rid of this damn holiday.
I would say LeBeau's probably at a half, maybe 3/4 chub when he hears the word Truck Day.
As
chub.
As gross as I am, don't get me wrong about the Red Sox. Truck Day is just one of those things that makes me a little bit upset. Genuinely, when you see the concept, you understand the concept. It's one of those things that I just don't like, and I've never liked, and I think it's stupid. It's simply the bare minimum of what has to happen for every major league team, which is literally just loading up the equipment and bringing it to Florida for spring training. That's it. And it's just equipment. That's it. It's just equipment. I mean, what are we doing? Seriously.
Yeah. Well, I think what's even worse than that is back in the day, they would bring it to McCoy Stadium on their way on 95. And people wouldn't even see them load up anything. They would just literally be there to look at a truck. And that was my first year, interning there when they actually had that happen. And, it was one of my first days. And, I just didn't understand why, anybody, probably a few dozen people actually showed up.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, if you, I think we've said this on the show before, and we've spent a lot of time dissecting Truck Day on this show. And if you explain this to someone from England, right? Say the UK, right? They're a soccer fan their whole life, right? They, diehard fan of their club. And you explain this to them, they'd be like, mate, we don't even do that. That's nuts. That's some crazy,
too
perverted shit that you guys do. You fucking Americans. At least our schools don't have shootings,
Well, at least our schools ain't shooting ranges.
No, but seriously.
Tuesday, ain't
it? Oh my God, Truck Day is just an unbelievable day.
And
it really is.
That, in New England, it's freezing. This is early, February, late January. It's snowing, and you'll still have these people just show up in the cold.
Right.
I wonder. I don't know if it is this is just like only like a Red Sox thing, or do like every major league team have their like version of Truck Day?
No, it's definitely a Red Sox thing.
Yeah.
It's definitely a Red Sox thing. I don't. I mean, they might have like some variation, I guess, some teams, but no, this is a Red Sox thing. It's a weird fucking Red Sox thing.
I think every team does have a truck day. I mean, technically they do.
Well,
There's other
yeah,
people just don't care. Like, technically, there is always going to be a day where you bring the equipment from your major league clubhouse down to Florida or Arizona. Like, that day shouldn't just be celebrated. That's just another day at
right,
the
yeah,
office.
Right,
Like, if
right.
you're like an equipment manager. So, like, there is a truck day, but there isn't a truck day.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
There's a celebration of the
Yeah.
trucks.
And if you're the Red Sox equipment manager and this is your Super Bowl and you're listening, I'm sorry. But
No, right.
you have to understand, like, this is not
I
a
mean,
cool thing to
okay.
celebrate. It's just not.
No. And the equipment guys are great. I mean, they throughout sports, man. Equipment managers, the whole
Yeah.
equipment staff, they don't get enough love. So I guess this is their version of that. You know, like you said, it's their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But shout out to them. But yeah, no, it's this is definitely something that can only work in the New England region, though. I don't think this would work even in like New York or like any like Philly, like any big sports market. I don't think this would work. I feel like this is just very unique to Boston. Like it would only work here because the people are just as New York in other sports cities they're perverted in their own way, but Boston is just is
Yeah,
special in that way.
I think we just yearn for some resemblance of like the summertime, I guess. So
Right.
maybe that might be like part of it. It might be like
Yeah.
a psychological thing. I don't know, but it's just it's just not something I care to. They haven't even announced when it is, and I'm pretty sure it's because of this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure
might
they're
have-
keeping it. Yeah, they're keeping it a secret this year.
We might have
So.
just ruined Truck Day for the Red Sox.
I think we might have.
Yeah. We're definitely on the Red Sox radar because of us capturing Sam Kennedy falling down at Rafa's
Yeah.
press conference, which ended up just getting tweeted out by like every single baseball account out there. So like it was absolutely fantastic that like we were able to share this with the world.
So Jack, could you walk us through how that happened? Like, you said you saw it on the TV, right? And then you switched to your phone or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. So like I had the presser on at work, just on silent in the background, just because I was doing my job. And then I saw shaking the hands and everything, and him falling down. I was like, oh my god, I need to like go on my phone and like pull it up so that way I can record it and put it on Twitter, so that way we could just expose the Red Sox team president for literally eating shit.
Yeah, we got to commend you, Jack, for getting that moment, because I don't think any other account had that. I think we were like the only ones I think that had it like right when it happened, and then that's kind of how it went, a little viral there. I think, what did we end at? Like over like 150K like views on that tweet.
Got to be up there.
I think it was 145 last time I checked, but it will probably get there eventually.
Yeah,
but
that's crazy though.
still absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is, and I think the symbolism there is awesome. It's like the president of the Red Sox, Sam Kennedy, right? Say he is the Red Sox, falling and being saved by Rafael Devers.
Yeah.
And that is literally the
poetic.
Red Sox. That's the Red Sox organization right now.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what it is. They are being saved by one guy. Like it's the truth.
Yeah.
He's holding it all together. If it's not for him, if they don't extend him and they can't keep him, then it's fucking over. Like this is it's it. You got a solid team. Like I was pretty adamant about that. So
Yeah, no, that was poetic, dude. Shakespeare couldn't even write that.
yeah. Not like I've read any.
Motherfuckers
but-
spin.
Yeah.
You've read like
Motherfuckers
what,
spit.
9 books?
9 books.
8 of them are coloring.
No. Come on, give me some credit.
Actual books.
No. I've read like 9 books, and 9 of them are like all either Red Sox autobiographies or biographies or just like baseball books in general. You know,
Yeah.
Francona, Poppy, Pedro, like they're all all those.
I was gonna say, I think it was last year when we were recording once, and you like your camera turned the other way, and you just had like the Francona, the Pedro book like on your coffee table, and it's just like, not to brag, but I do read books.
I do read books. Yeah. Seriously, you should see my bookshelf. It's actually laughable. I don't even try to fill it with like other books that, like, I could go to Savers and get like a ton of books for like $1 a piece, and just like pretend like I have a book collection. I have like, it's a bookshelf. It has like 4 shelves, and there's one shelf that's like 3/4 of the way filled with my 9 books, and there's like, it's like 10 Red Sox books and like one book about like college basketball, and that's it. Like that's
fitting. It's very fitting.
I will literally after the show, I'll get off. I will take a picture of it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I will take a picture of it and show you. I'm not joking at all.
Yeah. See, like I like audiobooks because I don't have to actually read, and I still am able to get all the story out of it. So it's really the best of both worlds, since I don't even have to pretend to put it up on a shelf or anything, or maybe like I can like print it out and like just be like, I know this book.
Yep.
So that way I'm like, I am literate.
It's good. It's good for you because when you get those long trips to back home to Virginia, you can just throw on the audiobook and you can just say you read.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good way of saying you read without actually physically reading.
I know this.
It's a bit of a cheat code.
God.
Yeah. I can't get into audiobooks. I mean, I've just kind of been listening to the same like 600 songs for the past like 15 years. Yeah. That's all. Like in the car, just shuffle, like just random. At the gym, shuffle. It's literally like the same 600 songs my whole life. It's like the soundtrack to my life. Like I don't switch it up. I don't even listen to podcasts besides this one. It's the only one I listen to. But other than that, it's just
you do strike me as like a big like podcast guy. Like you
would
listen to like a lot of shows. Like
no, fuck that. I hate fucking dude, Joe Rogan. I try listening to that, and it's like I can see how it's entertaining, but like, dude, I don't care about anything that's talked about on that show. Like I do like some Red Sox podcasts, and I used to like really like Section 10. Obviously, this is the inspiration for this show. But dude, Joe Rogan, like I can't get into that shit, man. I can't. Like I don't care about fucking aliens, bro, and like vitamins. Like I don't care. I really don't. Like if I'll read a quick article about shit like that and be like entertained. But dude, I'm not gonna listen to a fucking 3-hour show about like why you should take cold showers. Like, dude, shut the fuck up, please. Like it's just ridiculous. I don't care. This is like niche podcasts are much better than like general podcasts. Piss me off. We're going way off the rails here, but niche podcasts make a lot of sense. There's like we're talking about one thing. We have a viewership of one demographic of people that tune in for this one specific reason, right? We're not just generally talking about like why you should take vitamin D and like fucking I don't know, just shit. Like it's just ridiculous. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, and if you're listening out there, you should only listen to this podcast. All other podcasts are bad.
Yeah, no. All the other ones are terrible. Not even worth your time.
Not worth it. Just not worth it.
But I mean, we do have some hot stove, action that's been cooking up the last couple days. Well, I guess we can touch on the big one with Trevor Story because that broke, I think, right after our last emergency episode about Devers. But I mean, Trevor Story got the elbow surgery done. What was it, last week? And it looks like the prognosis was 4 to 6 months for him.
It's either 4 to 6 or it's 6 to 9. They're kind of saying it's around the All-Star break right now. It's basically Tommy John Jr., where
Right.
it's like it's a similar surgery, but there's like a brace that goes along with it or something. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor. But hopefully, it's yeah, he comes back healthy and we're able to have him down the stretch, but it is just the worst fucking
Right.
timing that you could have humanly had with something like this.
Right. No, it's awful timing, like you said, because like you had the Devers signing get done, you had the press conference, everything. You felt really good after that. You felt really good. And then what was it, like a few days later, you get the Trevor Story news, and it's like, what the hell, man? It feels like you almost just can't catch a break. Like one good thing happens, and then you take one step backwards with the Story news, and it's like, man, this is brutal.
Yeah.
And your infield was already like not great as it is, even with Story. But now you lose Story, and it's just got that much worse.
No, yeah, I think a great way to put it. And like one of my friends said this, but it's like they take one step forward and two steps back. Everything that happens is, it's a good thing and then like a really bad thing that happens. And at this point, I mean, they're going to need a lot of, I don't want to say they're going to need a lot of moves because there's not really much they can do to be like, there's nothing they could do to be like, all right, this team can win a World Series at this point in the offseason, unless like you swing like Alcantara and like, whatever. But they're going to need a lot of magic to compete. And I think that it's very possible, but it's going to come from like Bayo, Cassis, Whitlock, Tanner Houck, like those guys. It's not going to be like the core guys. It's going to be like guys that are going to have to emerge, come out of nowhere.
Right.
Or else this team is just going to be like, I think like last year is reasonable. But I think they're a little bit better than what we saw last year, just because last year, the injuries, they got hit really hard. I think this team right now, without Story, is just as good as last year's team. I think they're pretty much neck and neck without Story. So if you get Elvis Andrus or Profar or whoever, right now you're looking at, all right, maybe it's a little bit better. Then you add Duvall. Okay, maybe now it's a decent amount better, right? Then you add, maybe another pitcher. Okay, now it's a lot better, right? So you're a long ways away. There's still room to improve, but the pathway for this team to compete is not going to come from external players. It's going to come from Bayo, Cassis, all those guys really taking a step forward.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, this is a big year for a lot of your young guys. Like you said, obviously we got, Story banged up and we got some holes in the lineup, and, like you said it perfectly, it's going to be a big year for those young guys to really take a step. Obviously last year you had a hole at first base. Now you feel like you have somebody with Tristan Cassis who can step up. So it's going to be a big year from him. Obviously the starting, rotations, you don't know what you're going to get from him. Obviously Sale, you never know. Obviously with his injury history. So Bayo comes in. You saw some good from him last year. He showed a lot of flashes of, his potential. Obviously he's still really young. So if he can, provide something, pretty decent for you this year, and he can take a step in the right direction, you'll like that. But yeah, I think, you said it perfectly. A lot of your young players who play, big positions are going to have to really step up. So it's going to be a big year for them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we might even just like, I hate calling it a bridge year because, you really can't punt a season away in Boston sports. Yeah, the Bruins don't do it, the Celtics don't do it, the Pats don't do it. There's like just settling for mediocrity is just something that like doesn't happen in Boston, which you can't really say about a lot of other cities out there, just because we kind of at least demand like, a good team. And that's why it's so frustrating when, we're paying all the money for all the games that we go to, all the merchandise that we buy and everything, just to have the team not be competitive. And, Obviously, it's sometimes hard to do. You have to build for the future long term as well. But it's just a really kind of sad feeling going into the year, not confident at all about the team.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, it definitely sucks. We're we're very lucky, obviously, to have competed and won at the level that we have. But you kind of see the reality of, I guess, I don't want to say the Red Sox are like being cheap, because they're not. And I don't necessarily think like throwing money at like a problem is the best way to fix it, because a lot of times it just hasn't worked out for the Red Sox. But when you have a clear need, I think that's what really like bugs me about the direction that they're going in. Like, they have a clear need, right? You needed a right-handed, power-hitting shortstop. Those are all things you needed, and Carlos Correa was there for you, right? So the Red Sox need to be an organization where you don't have to spend just to spend. Like, you don't need to just go out and piss money away. Like, you don't need to have a $300 million payroll. You don't even need to have a $275 million payroll. But when you have a clear need and you have a guy that will fill that hole very, very well, you need to go and get that guy. Like, that's where it's not that I'm upset that the team isn't like spending money. Like Dansby Swanson, right? Like, that would have done nothing for me personally. All that would have done was, yeah, they would have filled the hole, would have been a decent shortstop. But then when that contract didn't work out, they would have cried broke for another fucking 6 years, just like they did with Pablo, Hanley, David Price, fucking all those guys from down the line, JD Drew, Adrian Gonzalez, Carl Crawford, John Lackey, all those guys that mid-level free agents. And you can even now, unfortunately, put Trevor Story in that category. You now have 2 years, the first 2 years of his contract, which were supposed to be his best 2 years, where he'd be pretty much completely unproductive. Last year, he was almost hurt, half the year. And when he was on the field, he was unproductive. This year, he'll be hurt at least half the year. Who knows when he comes back and what he does when he comes back. So instead of signing those like mid free agents, I think we should throw money at like some really good players and try to develop those mid-level players more, but I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on.
I mean, I think that's just been the frustrating part about this offseason, is that you've had, like you said, we've had the need we've had holes to fill, and we've had needs, and they just really haven't gotten done. And that's the frustrating part, because you feel as a Red Sox fan that if you were to fill those holes, like you have a really good shot at but that's been done. But who knows? I mean, the offseason's not over yet, so I mean, something could happen still. But yeah, I mean, as far as now, I mean, it's been frustrating for sure, and I'm sure I think a lot of Red Sox fans would feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what ends up happening throughout the year too. Maybe you actually give guys like Cedar Rafaela a shot in center field or at shortstop, or Emmanuel Valdez comes up and plays a little bit of second base for you. Maybe Brian Mata gets a few starts, something like that. So hopefully, if it is kind of heading in that direction, you can make the most out of it, because I don't really think it would be a long rebuild either. It's not like we're trading, we have even a lot of contracts up or anything. It's not like we're going to really be selling too much either, no matter what state the team is at. But I think, really in 2024, we could still be a championship team. It's just hard to see that with the 2023 team right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that this is like the classic bridge year, in the sense that this isn't like a teardown, and it's certainly not a situation where the Red Sox won't compete in the near future. I mean, as long as you hit on Bayo and Casas, and other guys too, then you're going to be right in the thick of it to not only compete for a division but win a World Series in 2024. And I truly believe that. But right now, you want to compete at least a little bit. But I think that everyone is kind of looking at 2024, and I think that that's the goal here. because you can kind of see with especially with the free agent signings that they made, it's all been like 2-year deals, you know, where I think that they're kind of looking at like 2023, you know, we'll get what we can get. Hopefully we compete. If not, well, we have these guys for a second year, Turner, Jansen. If, you know, they sign Duval, which is rumored to be a 2-year deal, him, you know, you sign Andrews or Profar, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a 2-year deal. You're probably going to need a shortstop for at least 2 years, or, well, not at least 2 years, but 2 years. At least a year and a half, you're going to need a shortstop before Meyer, right? Probably at the full 2 years. So, you know, it seems like that's what they're headed.
Yeah. We could see Sade on there in 2024 at shortstop. He might be a little better in center though, but he can play either one. So who knows? I mean, there's still a ton. There's still a ton of moves to be, you know, could be made in either way. So, like, what do you guys want the rest to happen the rest of the offseason at this point?
I mean, I think when you look at it, obviously an outfielder, you're gonna need some help in the middle infield, whether that's most likely shortstop. That's what I'd like. And then if you can try to get a starting pitcher in there as well, that wouldn't be bad. I feel like those are probably the 3 big, you know, positions that if you're a Red Sox fan, you want them to hit on.
I definitely think those are the obvious needs. I think that to be a little more specific, I would say a perfect way to finish this offseason would be Duval. I like Elvis Andrews better than Profar just because, you know, Andrews has had a little more long-term consistency, even though he's a little bit older. And I like the idea of like an Edward Cabrera. If you get those 3 players, I think you're definitely better than Tampa. In Baltimore. Obviously, I don't know about Toronto and the Yankees, but that's a good offensive team now, you know, with a pretty good rotation. And the bullpen is I would say the bullpen's a strength, you know. So, and don't forget, you know, Alex Cora is a great manager. I think that he can get a lot out of those guys. So if you get those 3 players, I feel pretty good about this team. As long as, like I said, Bayo and Cassis, you know, work out the way you need them to. Now, if those guys are dog shit, Chris Sale is out, you know, again, then this team's in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I think another guy that we've talked about and that has been in the rumor mill for trades is Kim from San Diego, but the price seems to be pretty high for him. I think the last we saw was it was Houck, and then they wanted 3 prospects, which is a little high. I don't think that's something I'd want to do. I mean, I think you guys have said you feel the same way. I mean, that's a pretty high price to pay.
Yeah. So apparently that price tag was for Kim and Grisham, which makes a little bit more sense when you look at it like that. And even still, you know, I think if it was going to happen, you know, probably would have happened at this point. And it kind of feels like, you know, how much is Kim really going to actually help us win a championship next year and the year after? And is it really worth giving up, you know, a dependable bullpen arm in Tanner Houck? Maybe he's a starter somewhere else, but, you know, the market's so crazy right now for a lot of those trades that he's a guy that I love. Would be your everyday shortstop. I think he could even hit over 20 home runs at Fenway, but it's a hard price tag to give up for when it's, you know, you can get Elvis Andrus out there for $7 million over, you know, per year, essentially.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I feel like it's better probably to go the free agent route in that way rather than giving up assets for 2023. But also, I mean, I mean, obviously the Marlins, I feel like there's something there with them. You've heard a lot of connections with the Red Sox in Miami. With Cabrera. Also, I saw there was a tweet today that came up that the talks for Cabrera have kind of quieted down, and the Miami's they're pushing more the Pablo Lopez route, which wouldn't be bad either if you were looking to go that route.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel
good.
like there's something there with like if the trade comes from Miami, maybe it's a guy like Wendell, maybe it's a package for Wendell and a starting pitcher,
Well,
whether
that's
it's
the thing.
Lopez or Cabrera or whatever it is.
The Red Sox are eventually going to have to pick a lane here. I mean, it's going to come to a breaking point, and it's going to be very soon where they're going to need to say, all right, well, the trades we're trying to put together aren't really working out, so we need to now pick up Elvis Andrus or, Jurickson Profar, so we don't miss out on. Now we have no middle infielders. We have Christian Arroyo in the middle infield, right, or in Kike Hernandez. Whether that lane is saying we're going to go Duvall, and then we're going to say, you know what, I like Kike at short, Arroyo at second, and not get a middle infielder at all, which I don't know. I don't think I would prefer that option. I think with that option, it would have to come with like getting a big starting pitcher, using your assets to get a starting pitcher, right? Then now you don't really need any more position players, I guess, but now you've bolstered your rotation. Or you say, well, we're going to go out, let's just sign, let's just get Duvall, let's get Andrus, and let's get Profar. Let's just get all three of them. Now you have, your problems pretty much solved, and then you can trade like Verdugo, something like that, So that's an option, but they got to eventually pick a side here.
I think Miami's pretty solidified on like they want. If it was for Cabrera, they want Casas. Like that's like the main. That's like the main chip for them.
Yeah, that's fucking
ridiculous.
Stupid.
That's not I mean, you're not going to give that up.
No, not for. The only time I'm trading Tristan Casas is if I'm getting like a 1 or a 2 starter right now, and I'm not saying that's what he's worth. But I'm saying that's how the Red Sox should value him because he has a perfect swing for Fenway. There's a huge hole in his lineup for power. And, he has a great plate approach. He fits the lineup perfectly. He's going to be a big part of this team if he's hitting well. So the only time I'm giving him up, it's for a 1 or 2 starter, period.
And he's really gonna give that up at this point in the offseason.
No, probably no one.
Like, if it was gonna happen, if Bloom essentially, promised to trade. Like, they essentially flat out said it, like, every chance he had along the way. So I feel like you almost have to make some move, but I don't think it's really gonna end up being what we thought it might be.
Yeah, that's what I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. That's what I was saying this morning. Like in the group chat, we were talking about like it's going to be literally like the most mid trade ever. It's going to be like mind-numbingly stupid. Like an exchange of prospects for a guy who will probably either DFA by August or someone that won't even be on a major league contract.
Right.
Like that's what I think that.
Yeah.
But they are going to make a trade. Whether it's ridiculously stupid, like I believe it's going to be, or whether it's impactful for this team, that's, we'll see. But you're right. Chaim Bloom essentially did. And I think that, I think he's maybe, not catching on to the fact that, Red Sox fans take everything that these executives say and we, remember everything. And, you can't just say words. You have to, just say less and do more. Please say less. Less talking, more action. That's all I want out of Chaim Bloom. I don't want to hear any more promises.
Yeah.
He's saying, well, we have a middle infield. All right, well, let's go. We might get 2 players. 2 players. How about let's start with 1?
Yeah.
Well, let's start with not saying we're going to get any of them and just please go get one. That'd be awesome. It doesn't have to. He goes, it doesn't even have to be 1. What the fuck? We don't even have 1. So get 1.
Do something. It's like that meme with the stick figure with the stick and he's just poking. He's like, do something.
Yeah, come on. Do something.
Come on. Yeah. Come on, man.
It's crazy just because I feel like since we really last recorded and even Trevor Story went down, not a lot of moves have happened around the league at all. So there's still the guys out there, but you just wonder how long they're gonna be out there for at this point, since
Right.
we're almost at truck day.
Yeah.
I actually just looked it up. It's February 3rd, so
Oh,
get ready,
wow.
you pervert.
Coming up. It's
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah, it is coming up.
It's
Yeah. But the clock is ticking. We're getting ready for the season. Other teams are done with their shopping lists already. The Yankees have been done for a while now.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays have been done. The Orioles have been. They might sign Michael Wacha, their savior. But you just hope like you can actually figure it out before it's too late again, which feels like kind of the narrative of the off season.
Right. And something's got to give, not only with the Red Sox, but just around the league, like we mentioned, there's still guys out there that are, waiting to sign, that are going to get signed. But, you just hope the Red Sox aren't, late to the party there, because out of a lot of teams, in the majors, the Red Sox obviously have, we've mentioned it, they have needs and they have to go out and do something, because if you're late to this and you miss on some of these guys and you're left with, whatever you're left with, that's not a good look going into the season. I think Red Sox fans just want something to happen, some sort of improvement. We've talked about it before in the group chat. And maybe just if you're going to go the Arroyo route, if he's, we all know obviously his injury history and, not being able to stay on the field for a majority of the season. Even if you were to get something that's some type of insurance for that, because that he's most likely he's not going to be, on the field for, a majority of the season. So you just need something there, to give you some sort of insurance, for a guy like Arroyo.
Yeah, the clock is certainly ticking. It's getting down to, the time where you start to kind of wrap things up and prepare your team for, like, I know Red Sox signed Trevor Story really late last year. That's because of the lockout. But this is a normal offseason where things start to kind of wrap up, like, first week of February. And then maybe like that like a couple free agent holdouts will sign like in February or March, whatever. But things are going to happen really fast, and it's going to come. And then the Red Sox are going to be with, no one. That's my fear. It just always is like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Like, it always feels like there's obvious moves out there they need to make. They want to make them. And this is where I think it comes back to, like, too many people, like, in the room. Because I think there's a lot of different people, like, saying different things. And I think that gives the Red Sox what I like to call analysis paralysis. And I think that they, like, wait and like talk about, like, signing a player or trading for a player until the fucking cows come home, and then the player's gone.
Yeah.
And then everyone's gone. And I really think that's the issue with this front office. I think that there's way too many cooks in the kitchen. I think there's way too much talking. And I think there's not enough action. I think that sometimes you have to pull the trigger on something, even if it's not like maybe the best possible deal for your organization. Maybe if it's not like a home run, but you have an obvious need here. If Elvis Andrus is squabbling between a million or $1.5 million, make the fucking deal.
Yeah.
Before he signs elsewhere. Or if it's, Adam Duvall, whatever, wants a fucking player option instead of a team option for the second year, make the fucking deal. Like, we got to do something. These guys are going to be gone. Like, enough sitting on your hands, enough talking about it, enough fucking playing computer games, and enough fucking Google Sheets. Let's put some guys on the fucking field, because that's what they need.
Absolutely. And hey, you know what? Oh, go ahead, Jack.
No, I mean, we did make a big signing in Jorge Alfaro. So
there you go.
Mean, we got our guy. I mean, I don't know why we're complaining. We completely forgot about the Jorge Alfaro signing.
This is like that came right from Chaim Bloom's like nerd front office, which is, it's a great signing, and I totally agree with it.
Yeah, like, on a minor league deal, who cares? Yeah,
right. But like, here's the thing though. Like, these are the moves that they're great at making. Like the moves that they can take fucking 6 months to talk about. Like they've probably been talking about this since literally like the season ended in September. I'm not even kidding. They probably have. This is how this front office works. I know it is how it works. They've probably been talking about this since fucking September, and they finally got it done in mid to late January. And like those moves come from the Chaim Bloom side, but like the Devers extension, like that comes from ownership. And like those are things like the Trevor Story signing, damn well that came from ownership. They were just like, we just need to sign someone. Like these are the things that you need to do though. Like you need to be in the middle. There needs to be a balance here. Like you need to have a little bit of like aggressiveness, a little bit of like, let's just go out and just do this. Instead of like this whole like just fucking sit in your hands and try to get the best. Like it's just, I don't know.
I like that analysis paralysis.
Yeah, it's analysis paralysis. They do that. It's like, I've been in sales my whole life, right? You ever talk with someone and they're thinking about it, and they just think about it and they think themselves to death and they just never make a fucking decision. That's the Red Sox.
Yeah.
The Red Sox are like the customer that you can't fucking sell to because they just think about it, and then they just get in their own way, and then someone else buys the fucking product. It's just gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope, sorry, it's gone.
Well, we got to get you into the front office because you've been on the Adam Duvall train here, trying to bring him to Boston.
Stroke that thing, Cuzzo.
Yeah. Doing your part. Yeah.
You've been sliding into the DMs.
It's all about recruiting. That's what it's all about. Just trying to bring guys to Boston. And I recruited Dansby Swanson. That didn't work out.
No.
Slid in his wife's DMs as well.
Oh my God.
But
whole family.
Whole family. I slid in JD's DMs back in 2018. So, it's just all about recruiting. That's what it's all about. So, Adam Duvall, he's going to stroke that thing. And he's going to hit 35 bombs this year. It's going to be great. And it's going to be for the Toronto Blue Jays because the Red Sox are never going to sign the fucking deal. So
right, yeah. They're close.
Yeah, they're close. They're running a few last final numbers, and they got to think about it. All right, we'll let you know in the morning. Nope, he's a Ray.
Yep.
Yep. Pretty much.
That's what's gonna happen. And it's gonna, it is true. It's gonna be in the division too.
Yeah, he'll be a Yankee. He'll be a Yankee.
Exactly.
We're gonna wake up. Adam Duvall's gonna be a Yankee.
He signed with San Diego for 10 years.
He signs in a 12-year contract with San Diego. When you wake up at 3 a.m. to piss.
Or he's going back to Atlanta for like 5 years for like league minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Atlanta, Max Fried's like a dead man walking in Atlanta right now because he didn't take like an 8-year $500,000 contract.
Max Fried doesn't want to work for slave labor costs, so he's now hated by the Braves, the communist Braves.
Oh.
Yeah, it must be nice.
The Braves are literally Russia.
Dude,
yeah,
absolutely.
You will work for us for nothing, and you'll like it. What else we got? Oh, me and Nick Pivetta are best friends.
Yes.
Yep.
You got to tell the story.
Well, I made a funny tweet. It was a good tweet, and it was. Most people who would be listening know about this tweet. If you don't, then I don't know where you've been. But it was actually my best tweet ever.
It was
actually my best tweet ever.
You put up numbers on that.
I put up absolute numbies, and basically it was just a picture of the robbery of Fenway in the town, where I said Ryan Brazier and Nick Pivetta were getting a combined $7 million. Like, in essence, saying that they were robbing the Red Sox, right?
Yeah.
And I think that it was a funny tweet. It wasn't meant to be taken serious. It was something I just tweeted just randomly. And Nick Pivetta replied to it and rolled his eyes at me. And the funniest thing about it and I also tweeted this, and this tweet also did pretty well. But Nick Pavetta's had like 6 tweets since 2021. It just makes me laugh just saying it. But he's had like 6 tweets since 2021, and one of them is to roll his eyes at me with just no words, just an eye roll.
Just the emoji. Yeah.
That was it. So that was fantastic. And the thing is, he's well worth $5 million. And it's an erroneous tweet. It's just a stupid tweet that was just like meant to make people laugh. Nick Pavetta's value is exactly where it needs to be. And what he did in 2021 for the Red Sox will never be forgotten in the playoffs. Love Nick Pivetta. He had a tough year last year, let's be honest. I know his numbers maybe like were a little bit better than what we watched. So the numbers weren't really terrible, but he wasn't good for the Boston Red Sox in 2022. So he was a little frustrating to watch, especially the biggest thing is he was disappointing. I was expecting him to be like almost ace caliber, So yeah, he just chirped me a little bit, and then that's pretty much it. But everyone, kind of rushed to defend Nick, and it was funny. But I loved it.
I don't understand. I guess I don't really understand how like people didn't take that as like a joke or as like, just a funny tweet.
Some people did. Some people was like, "This is funny." Like, yeah, and then some people were like, "Dude, what the fuck is your problem? You're such a fucking asshole." Like. Those are my favorite replies because those are just like dude, how okay, like I'm chirping like
doesn't sound like Twitter, yeah.
But I just don't get it. Like I'm chirping the 11th best pitcher on the Red Sox, and like that's fine if the tweet doesn't even make sense and it is erroneous. But how are you gonna be that offended by me chirping the 11th or 12th best pitcher on the Red Sox? Let's be real. Let's be real. I can name 11. That are better.
You want to go? Do you want to name the 11?
I'll name the 11 right. I'll name the 11 right now.
Okay, yeah. Let's start counting here.
All right, Chris Sale.
1.
Brian Bayo.
2.
Garrett Whitlock.
3.
Tanner Houck.
4.
Kenley Jansen.
5.
Chris Martin.
Yeah, 6. Yep.
Matt Barnes.
Oh my god.
Yep. There's a few you're forgetting.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot I'm forgetting. I'm not going to put Brazier in there.
No.
Corey Kluber.
Yep.
I'm just trying to go through the rotation. I think I got the whole rotation. Did I miss anyone in the rotation?
No, I don't think you missed anybody in the rotation. There's somebody in the bullpen I think you're forgetting about.
Let me go back to the bullpen then. John Schreiber.
John Schreiber.
There's one more. I can find definitely one more because I just got to name 10 guys because he's the 11th best pitcher on the Red Sox.
Yeah. So you got to name one more.
I got to name one more. Definitely not Jolie Rodriguez.
No.
I said Kenley Jansen. I said Chris Martin. Right, definitely not Ryan Brazier. He's last. Can't put Brian Mata in there, although he is on the 40-man, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Can't put him in there because he hasn't pitched in major leagues yet, so that's not really fair. It's not really fair to Nick.
There's Josh Taylor.
Oh, JT. Yeah, I could do JT, but he didn't pitch last year at all.
He pitched last year, though.
Yeah, that's not really
fair.
Did
you say Paxton?
I didn't say Paxton. There you go. I mean, he didn't pitch last year, but I did miss Paxton. And so all right. So I'll give Pivetta Paxton. So he's the 10th best pitcher. He's the 10th best pitcher. I feel like I still may have missed one, but
Caleb Ort, did you say him?
No, fuck him. He's last. He's last.
Frank Vermont.
I like him. He's good.
Yeah. I actually like Zach Kelly. I forgot him. Like, I think he has some pretty good stuff. But
happy never having to see Connor Siebold pitch this year, Day. Yeah. Also, hopefully Josh Winkowski's next. Get him out. Fucking hate that prick. But yeah, I mean we're looking up. Pitching's looking up.
What if that was the big move that Hein Bloom was talking about. Connor Siebold for
That was it. That was the
you know,
trade.
yeah,
Player
that
to
was
be
the
named
trade.
later.
You know,
That was
that
the trade.
could be the trade. You know.
Yep.
What if the player to be named later is Brendan Rodgers?
Hey, never know.
I think it's possible. Maybe get like Daniel Bard back too. Just fuck it.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Who says no?
The Rockies.
Yeah, the Rockies.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Rockies are probably the most confusing organization I've like seen in baseball. Like the Pirates and the A's, that makes sense that they're just, four dirtbags that
Right.
like, kind of do what they have to. But like Colorado still spends money just in the weirdest spots. Like you literally paid to trade away Nolan Arenado just to sign Chris Bryant a few years later. So Chris Bryant will be on the Red Sox one day when it's like near the end of his contract. Like I just put that out into the universe. Like it's just one of those things where it's just bound to happen eventually. But like they'll be paying the tab for it.
Yeah, for sure. The Rockies and like, see, the Angels are in a similar category, but like richer, and like they try to compete, but they're just so bad, like so bad. They're confusing too. But yeah. Oh, shout out to everyone for 2,000 followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's big time. We really appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah, huge.
I will be getting the tattoo at 10K. So
10K
keep on
tattoo. Yeah, keep going. No, yeah, I was agreeing. 10K tattoo. Yeah,
8,000 more. That's it.
that's it. I'll do it.
Exactly. We'll get there by the end of the year.
Yeah, if they win a World Series, actually, no joke. If they win a World Series, I'm pretty confident we would get to close to that number. We would explode.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
And this is also just more proof that my mom does not listen to the show.
Yeah. Mine doesn't either.
It's fine.
We got anything else?
Kevin Youkilis, gonna be the full-time or mostly the full-time guy on Nesson. Well, I like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
No, good for him.
Yuke's
He deserves
great.
it. He's awesome. He's great.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yep.
We're looking
Monaco
to
next.
Yeah.
Monaco next.
2024. Monaco 2024.
Monaco Uke, dude. What a booth that would be. That'd be great.
Absolutely. That'd be a good shirt. Monaco Uke 2024.
Fuck yeah. Make it.
Yep.
Just like with the stroke that thing, Cuzzo.
Stroke that thing, Cuzzo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a TikTok tonight. With that sound.
Stroke that thing, Cuzzo.
Yep. With an Adam Duvall home run.
Just yeah.
Yeah.
If he signs this, I have to say, if he signs, the Red Sox should give you the credit for bringing him here.
No.
I think they will, eventually. But when he gets 35 bombs and everyone's wearing "Stroke That Thing" Cuzzo shirts at Fenway in the playoffs, then it's gonna
becomes
be
his walk-up song. Like
Yeah.
that TikTok
Just
sound.
plays the sound, yeah.
"Stroke That Thing" Cuzzo.
Yeah, you know what? I'm way too old for this.
You youngins doing? What is this Cuzzo talk?
They let me cook.
Hold up, let him cook.
Don't let me cook on them DMs.
Let LeBeau cook.
Adam Duvall ruined my credit.
Great pickup line.
Yeah, the best.
Undefeated.
Undefeated
But
always.
yeah, I think that's everything we had for today, right?
I think so. I think we're pretty good. Don't forget to do the YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yoshi
I did.
Yoshi Steamer. He's gonna be MVP in left field. So.
Oh yeah. Good
Absolutely.
projection.
Yeah. Who
Projection.
gives a fuck?
That's it.
Yeah,
Truck
we'll see
day
how it
around
goes.
the corner.
Truck day.
Yeah.
Couple weeks away from that.
Hey. Keep on
Alright.
trucking.
All right, I gotta piss.
Right.
Good night.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace.